Caleb Collier is going to chat for a bit, and then we'll come up and do Q&A.
Hello, Christian Patriots. You know what I like about this is that we're meeting in a church.
Yeah.
And when I look out at you guys, you know what I can see? This is not a state church. All right? Christ alone or government alone?
Christ alone.
Faith in God alone or faith in government alone?
Faith in God alone.
Scripture alone or government edicts alone?
Scripture alone.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, we were made for a time such as this. All right, I like to start everything I do with a joke. That way, if I bomb the presentation, hopefully you remember the joke. So, I'll tell you my favorite knock-knock joke, but you guys have to start it. Get a warrant. All right, so as a way of introduction, I'm a former Marine, a former EMT. I'm a former city councilman for the city of Spokane Valley. I am a host of Church and State Radio. I don't know if it comes all the way up here, but we are soon to be nationally syndicated, actually. And I am the field coordinator for the John Birch Society. How many of you have heard of the John Birch Society? Yes. Right. How many of you know that government, there's only really two types of government. One that desires you to be free and one that desires to oppress you. And we can look to the Bible and actually point this out. Heather already brought up Revelations and the beast system. What is the beast system? Completely oppressive, right? To where you cannot work, you cannot buy, sell, or trade without taking a mark. But how many of you know that a representative form of government was established in the Bible as well? Go all the way to Exodus chapter 18. And this is where Jethro, this is Moses' father-in-law, goes to Moses. And he basically, I'm going to paraphrase here, but he basically asks him, how are you governing? And Moses tells him, everything is coming to me. And he basically tells him, you're going to burn out doing that. So he encourages them to establish judges. Judges over tens, over 50s, over hundreds, and over thousands. And there's a hierarchy to the system, to where individuals come to that judge over 10. And if they can't figure it out, they go up the chain of command. That is a representative form of government, and that is what God desired for us. All right. The John Birch Society is a solutions organization. There are a lot of political organizations out there. They have a lot of good rhetoric. They can talk the talk, but do they walk the walk? We are not happy unless we are providing solutions for you. We began all the way back in 1958 as an anti-communist organization. We've evolved as the enemy has evolved. And now we are really an anti-globalist organization. Because communism was really just a means to an end, wasn't it? All they desire is complete control over every aspect of your lives. We publish something called the New American Magazine. This is an example of what we publish here. This is forced vaccinations and digital IDs. Well, that's pretty relevant, isn't it? We've had this magazine in publication since 1985, and we've never had to retract a single story. Consider that. All right, in this day and age, President Trump, he really brought to the forefront of the American public's mind two things: the deep state, well, the John Birch Society has been talking about the deep state since our inception, and fake news. All right? You have to be able to trust the news source, and that is something that we provide with the John Birch Society. We also publish something called our bulletin, and these all come with membership. Our bulletin is our solutions publication. So this is a way for us to be extremely effective with small numbers. Members from Florida all the way to Alaska are all working on the exact same items. Okay, we publish this thing. We've got 5 agenda items typically in every bulletin. So when you look at this, you can open it up and you can say, all right, agenda item number 2, get us out of the United Nations. Hey, that sounds pretty good. All right? According to the United Nations Charter, do you know where rights come from? Government. That's what the United Nations says. Not here. Not in America. All you have to do, we publish the phone numbers for your representatives, for President Trump. All you got to do is call them. You can read directly from the script if you're not comfortable, kind of winging it. You can call them up and say, I'm calling to ask so-and-so to support House Resolution 204, get us out of the United Nations. All right, sir, I've got that jotted down. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you read in here and you can say, yeah, did you know that every single Secretary General of the United Nations, since its inception, has been a communist or a socialist and one Nazi? That should make them gasp. Maybe. You know, we in this one, it's a particular of interest one. I know you guys will like this. They never let a good crisis go to waste, correct? Yeah. Well, what is this? Right? What is COVID-19? This is a crisis. Exactly. But we've got, it's just like 9/11. What happened after 9/11? A new normal. That's what happened after 9/11. To where now whenever we had to fly, we were used to getting molested. We're used to the TSA spying on everything that we do. That is the new normal. We cannot allow a new normal to be established because of COVID-19. Currently, they're actually trying to push an extreme gun control bill. How many of you are aware of that? Yeah. Some of the things that are in here. There you go. I like that. They're trying to tax guns at 30%, the purchase of guns at 30%, ammunition at 50%, establish national red flag laws, okay? Make it illegal to purchase a gun until you're 21 years of age. These are just some of the things that are in this bill. We've got this, so you can call your representatives and tell them to oppose this extremely bad bill. We also published the Freedom Index. Heather's already alluded to this. Too often we get stuck in this idea that the Republicans are the good guys and the Democrats are the bad guys. Is that the case? No. It's not. You know what? Oftentimes, I actually appreciate the Democrats more than I do the Republicans because I know they're the enemy. Right? I know they're going to be anti-life. I know they're going to be anti-gun. But Republicans, they sidle up to you. Heather knows this real well. They sidle up to you, put their arm around you. Hey, there's a knife in your back. So what we do is we grade these politicians according to the Constitution. Okay? We give them a grade. We take 10 bills and we say, is that a constitutional vote? If it is, they get a plus mark. If it's not, they get a negative mark. You can print these things out. You can pass them out at town halls. Okay? Just in as example, I've got a few of these memorized. I like to take people to Kentucky. Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul. Rand Paul is at 100% in defense of the Constitution. Mitch McConnell is at a 10%. 10%. Okay? Then we go to Utah. Mike Lee and Mitt Romney. Mike Lee is at 100%. Mitt Romney is at a 30%. Then I like to I save the best for last actually. Lindsey Graham. Everybody knows Lindsey Graham, right? He is currently at a 0% in defense of the Constitution. All right? Now let's make it a little more fun. Let's go to the Democrats. Bernie Sanders. Everybody knows him. He's currently at a 33%. Okay? Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, 50%. That's a terrible grade. That's a failure. But it proves the point. Just voting for a Republican is not a solution. We need to get good constitutional people elected into office. We practice something called the theory of 500 in the John Birch Society. What that is, most politicians kind of follow a standard template where if they hear from one individual about a specific issue, then they count that as 10 individuals. Their theory is that if one person's contacting me about this bill, there's at least 10 other people that I represent that feel the same way. Right? And what do most politicians do? They're testing the wind, right? Because they're not a statesman or a stateswoman. I would call Heather a stateswoman. All right? There's a difference. Yeah. What's that? Okay. All right, well, I knew that, yeah. All right, but there is a difference between a statesman and a politician. Most politicians just want to retain their power, okay? So if we can get 500 active members of the John Birch Society in any congressional district, we can radically change things in a positive way. And even at a lesser level, take that to the city council level or a county commissioner level. Imagine what we can do with those numbers. And that's what I'm currently engaged in. In my territory, I cover eastern Washington, northern Idaho, western Montana. It's the fastest growing territory in the nation. You know why? Because there's good patriots here. So we're being effective. We're doing a lot of really great things out there, guys. One of the other things, real quick, to prove that we are a solutions organization. We weren't happy to tell you to get your kids out of public education. We weren't happy to bring you the news that they're teaching children as young as in kindergarten what equates to pornography. We had to create our own homeschool curriculum. So we actually have something called Freedom Project Academy. It's an online curriculum to where we're actually teaching Latin and Greek and logic and non-revisionist history. And it's extremely affordable, and it's something that you can do in the comfort of your own home, or we've actually partnered with churches because they largely stand empty 6 out of 7 days of the week. We can actually establish either a homeschool co-op or a private school inside a church using our curriculum. So, in closing here, real quick, what does that all cost, right? It's not all that much money. Anybody that is interested in it, please come see me or Bob Vicarious. I think he's in the back still. Most of you probably know Bob. But membership is extremely affordable. It's very easy to fill out this application. It's literally 2 pages. You get the New American Magazine twice a month, our bulletin once a month, and access to our local chapter here. All that you can either do. You've got a few options there. You can either do $22 every 3 months, $25 for a married couple, or you can do $87 a year, $99 for a couple. Not a lot of money, especially considering everything that you get with it. Because the truth of the matter is this: the Constitution was written for all, but defended by few. And it's time for us to stand up and start defending something that our founding fathers, literally, Heather already brought it up, right? There were 56 signers to the Declaration of Independence. Okay? Thomas Jefferson wrote in the Declaration of Independence that they pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. 9 of our founding fathers were killed in the war. 5 of them were caught and tortured by the British. 2 of them lost their sons in battle, and 2 of them had their sons captured. These men gave up their lives, their fortunes, but not a single one of them gave up their sacred honor. Why? Because they believed in this experiment for liberty. They believed that God desires for you and I to be free men and women. And what did they do it for? Their posterity. That's us. Right? We are their posterity. And what are we doing about it to defend this republic? If you're a really active member in the John Birch Society, you're going to spend maybe 3 to 4 hours a month engaging in this stuff. And that includes the meetings, which are usually about an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's not a lot of time. It's not a lot of money. And honestly, in defense of our republic, I don't think it's too much to ask for you to become members and to take this fight to them. Right? We're tired of being on the defense. Let's go on the offense, ladies and gentlemen. Amen. All right, so. Never again are we going to allow this. When that jackboot steps on our Constitution, we're going to rise up and we're going to let him know, never again, not on my watch. No. Thank you so much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. Please come see me afterwards, and I'll definitely be up here to answer questions with Heather if you're so interested. I'll leave you with this. The tree of liberty is most likely a birch.